This show, called Guns, Loaded Conversations, is at the San Jose Quilt and Textile Museum, and Vision Quilt is part of it, which we're delighted to be. And as you can see, many of the pieces are very graphic and very creative with what they've done to talk about this conversation around guns in our country. And we have a video here from Lighthouse School showing the children talking about how guns have impacted their life.
Why is this exhibition in San Jose so important for the future of Vision Quilt?
Well, it's the first time that we've had a national show. This show will travel for 3 years, and the next one of the exhibitions is going to be in New England. So this is a way that we can have our voice heard, and the fact that our video is featuring children and teachers talking about guns in the school setting and their visions for preventing gun violence. We're delighted that other people in other parts of the country will hear this. And this all happened before the Parkland students raised their voices, and now more and more people are interested in what the youth have to say. And so we're delighted that our part of this is to magnify the voices of youth.
Especially at that time of week.
Hey, my name is Sarah Trail, and I'm here at the San Jose Quilt and Textile Museum, and I am the founder of the Social Justice Sewing Academy. Grew up in the Bay, went to Berkeley for undergrad, and have my master's from Harvard. And the Social Justice Sewing Academy is a way to bring young people intersecting with sewing to just have a call to action and create activist art.
How did you get involved with sewing?
My grandma taught me when I was 4, and I used to sit on her lap when I was younger. And as I got older, I took classes. My parents enrolled me in a lot of classes, and I've just been sewing pretty feverishly since I was about 4.
What is your concern with gun violence?
My concern with gun violence is the disproportionately way it impacts communities of color. Not only everyone is impacted, but Black Lives Matter is a current movement that's kind of addressing concerns from Trayvon Martin to, Stephon Clark, who was recently killed in Sacramento. We have laws and policies in place that aren't necessarily protecting all people equally.
And how do you feel about the discrepancy involved in that?
I feel like we need to do more. It needs to be, I guess, controlled more. We need to have more mental health background checks. We need to figure out a way to have equity, because it's disproportionately targeting and impacting a group of people that are particularly close to my community.
My name is Brian Robinson, and I am a senior at Oakland High School, and this piece was created in 2016 in my summer program called Upward Bound. And we had an instructor, Sarah Trail. She helped us choose, it was a social justice class, and we had to choose an issue that we were very close to our heart, and I chose police brutality and what it has to do with the people who are affected by it. So I chose Oscar Grant, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, and Tamir Rice. And my brother, he was an inspiration for me too in order to do it. That's why I chose the pigment of the skin and African descent and the hair. So with this, I chose them because they were the people at that time who were really affected. And that's why I chose the bullet wounds for each person and more who were ever affected. And the 2 guns were held towards the person's head because police brutality, they couldn't do nothing. So at this moment, it's like, what would you do? And that's to leave the question of what would you do. And it was very important to show what was going on at that time, and it's still going on now. And that's why I feel like it stands out to people, and it stands out to me, and I'm grateful. It's my first time doing it, a quilt, and I'm grateful for showing it.
Have you had an encounter with police harassment or brutality yourself?
Yes, I have. I was staying outside in my home with me and my friends, and a police officer, he drove past, and he was actually, what are we doing outside in front of this late at night? And we weren't doing anything, we're just standing outside enjoying each other's time. And we went inside, he felt he was making us feel uncomfortable, so we ended up leaving and went into our houses, and he left.
Yeah. Okay, now who is this guy over here?
This is my friend Yosef, and we both went to the same school in the same program.
Hi Yosef, tell me about this thing that you created.
Hey, how you doing? And so I was in the same summer program with Brian, as I told you, the Upper Brown program, and we had the same class, and we had to choose a social injustice topic, and I chose police brutality. And the main reason behind this piece is so we don't forget the victims of it. I felt like God forbid somebody dies or is a victim of police brutality by today, we create social media hashtags and we put them in the news and we mourn about them for like a week, and then by the next, as the weeks go, we forget about them. And I feel like this piece really like helps us to remember them, because we can actually feel it and see it. And like I made it because so it could like Sarah said, she said it was going to be in museums and stuff, and I felt like people should know like what we go through on an everyday basis. Like it's just not like even like there's people right here next to us who we don't even know about that's being harassed. Like for example, like Brian said, like this happens to all of us, yeah, at one time in our lives. Yeah.
How did you both get involved with Vision Quilt?
It was a subject that was brought to us by our program, and we just said what the heck, and we just tried it out, and we ended up enjoying it, and we learned a couple things with sewing and embroidering and all the techniques that you have to do. And all this was both hand stitched. Everything, nothing but machines, everything was hand. We did this by hand. We got the bruises to prove everything.
How did it feel sewing? How did that feel?
It's a long time. It takes time to do
It
it.
took time, and every day we poked ourselves with the needle, like because we didn't know what we was doing, because it was our first time. It was really painful. But
What did you think about when you were doing this?
it was really like something, because this was like my first time making a quilt, because like in our school we do paintings. I stick to paintings and graffitis and stuff like that. So this quilt was like my first like time I worked on fabrics, basically.
Did you think about the subject matter, police brutality or guns, or what you could do about it?
Oh yeah, because like he said, our teacher she told us to like think about social injustice like we see in our community every day, and I just came up with police brutality, yeah. And we both came up with that because we were just helping each other and working together in that class.
Okay.
It felt like it can like be an outspoken. If you see this, it can be spoken in a bigger language with just looking. Like a picture can have 1,000 words. So that's basically what we wanted to do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Brenna Hearn and I am an embroiderer, and this piece is part of my active shooter directions series. When I worked at UC Davis in the School of Medicine, they called all the students into the auditorium and the staff, and they basically told us what to do if someone comes in and tries to kill everyone. At the end of the assembly, they gave us this handy little card with these directions printed on it, and I decided to stitch a large version of it.
Okay.
This piece is called Remembering Trayvon, and it's obviously about Trayvon Martin. And it sort of depicts the moment when he was approached by George Zimmerman. And I wanted to kind of depict the fear that he must have felt being approached by an older man carrying a gun, bigger than he was. So to me, the whole problem with guns is compounded by the gun-carrying laws that allow things like stand your ground, where racism can enter into the decision about whether somebody is shot, which I totally believe is what happened with Trayvon Martin. I cannot even imagine the circumstance under which Trayvon Martin could have been armed following a white man and shot him and not have been convicted by a jury. That's just not even possible. Not even something you can even think about.
Okay, this piece is called March on Trayvon, and it's about Trayvon Martin. When he was murdered, I was horrified. We would never have heard about his case had the mother not taken it upon herself to publicize it. I imagine everybody knows about how he was shot down visiting his dad, having gone to the store to get a Skittles bar, and the guy who shot him got off. And part of the problem was the laws in Florida, the stand your ground laws, which say that you can, if you think someone's a risk or someone is threatening you, you can kill them. And this is another law that has to be changed.
Can you talk to us about the imagery here?
The imagery, I like people to be able to project whatever they want onto it, knowing the subject matter. But what I see is a big face and then a sneaker, and it's called March on Trayvon. So, but there are many ways to interpret it, and I think that the viewer's way is just as good as mine, because I do these things intuitively.
Hi, my name is Amy DiPlacido, and I'm the curator of exhibitions here at the San Jose Museum of Quilts and Textiles. This project is very near and dear to my heart. About 2 years ago, I became the curator, and it was around the same time of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, Florida. And I wanted to use my platform as a curator to bring this conversation forward about guns and their role in America. And so we collaborated with SACWA, which is the Studio Art Quilt Associates, to put out a call for guns, and that was a juried call for art internationally. And then I had the privilege of choosing 10 additional artists that are working in textiles for the show. And so the show is very powerfully beautiful. We have pieces on all sorts of the conversation, so things ranging from guns' heritage of hunting to things that are more neutral, like statistics, and then we have a bunch of liberal-leaning artworks as well. So the name of the show is Guns, Loaded Conversations at the San Jose Museum of Quilts and Textiles, and it's on view until July 15th.
Okay, thank you.
Little Red Riding Hood. In the next room, he says she's feeling pretty good. She can't see straight. She gave him a short list of everything she hates. Although you can't detect it, she left Travis feeling so rejected. Travis, set it all up. She knocked it back down instead of giving it up. Just like you might expect it, she left Travis feeling so rejected. Keep your hands to yourself, and you won't be sorry. Keep your hands to yourself, and you won't be sorry. Keep your hands to yourself, and you won't be sorry. Keep your hands to yourself, and you won't be sorry. Travis, Little Red Riding Hood. In the next room, you dig